Greetings and salutations on this beautiful springed forward Sunday. I woke up this morning and it was like super bright out, and I'm like, wow, I overslept. I mean, it's a Sunday, but I usually always get up like at 6 or whatever. So when I saw that light pouring in, I'm like, wow, that's right. That's strange. I usually don't sleep this late. Like, it's the spring forward thing. We didn't do that in Japan. But, yeah, everything's everything. Work is back to normal. I'm not leaving my house at 4 in the morning to get to work, to be there at 5 in the morning to try to pull together a lesson plan. There's a teacher there, and she's doing all the lesson plans, which is great, which I really don't know what the principal had in mind, because I don't know grading. I mean, I could grade a piece of paper and I can give them tests, but where do I put the grades, you know? But luckily, whatever, and all the things that I did the weeks before, she graded them and put it into the system. Because the semester ended last Friday. So again, I am not sure what the principal had in mind, but anyway, everything worked out, I guess. So yeah, but I mean, these kids, man, I wish I could like throw a camera up there, but you know, probably your kids are bad. Nah, people who watch me, their kids are angels, I know it. But they're trying. Like, it'll be like 12 o'clock. Like, these kids have lunch at 11:45, I guess. It'll be like 11:42. And he'll be like, raising their hand, like, yes? We gotta go to lunch. It's 11:42. I'm like, I know what time it is. But it's lunchtime. I'm hungry. And it's cute because, you know, but it's just like, calm down. Every week, every day, I try to think of new strategies to win the war on classroom management. So, now reasoning doesn't work. You know, like, hey, if you guys do this, you can get that. Threaten them doesn't work. If you do this, this will happen. And delayed punishment and gratification doesn't seem to work. So it'd be like, if you do this now, in 3 days, you're gonna be punished for it. So it'll be like the weekend or something. When they come back from the weekend, it's like, why am I being punished? Like, because you did X, Y, Z. Like, I don't remember doing that. I was like, so one way that worked was real time. So I just write it on the board. So-and-so was standing up after I told them to sit down, and they continue to do so. And now it's on the board, so they can't say I didn't do it. And since I'm writing it out, everyone is aware of it. So when they say, but I didn't, the other students are like, you did, and it's on the board. And then when the other teacher comes in, like, she's the teacher for the school, like, she's been there for years. She wrote herself a manual. There's rules to this. These kids are so... But she says, oh my gosh. And she takes said kids out into the hallway and be like, you guys gotta calm down. So it works, but a whiteboard only has so much space, and I'm like doing math or something. I feel pretty accomplished, and like, I'm not a math teacher, you know? I don't know, I'm not even certified or anything. But I stepped up and I handled it. And I had to teach them math. And they love to scream, they don't know how to do it, There's 24 kids, different levels. I had to brush up on my math, and this is just simple division. I don't know what the quotient and divisor are. You just put the number in there. But anyway, on Monday they were screaming, I can't do it. There's two numbers here. I can't do it. I'm like, you could do one number. Just add another number. But by Friday, they were writing it on the board. And at one point, I had them make up their own little problems using 2 digits to divide into the thing. And again, we had 4 minutes before lunch. And they're like, can I do my problem? I was like, we got to go to lunch, but I want to do my problem. Then we came back from lunch and like, okay. So they're really excited. And that's all me. Because the teacher, they didn't, just kids who are there. But so yeah, everything is just going along. My company who employs me, so I'm like, a company hired me to work there. She sent me an angry email. Didn't even have a greeting. Hello, Matthew, or anything. It's just like, you can't work over 40 hours. Confirm this. Said, hello. The reason that I'm working 40 hours is because, and I explained it. And then I went back to the emails and dated them and put up a little calendar. And she's like, okay, well, just letting you know, we're okay. That makes no sense, though. If I'm physically doing work, you're going to pay me for them physical hours. You know what I mean? But yeah, so that's work. The teacher that I don't really get along with, I think there's something, I don't like to speak bad on people, but some days she comes in and she's like, hello, Mr. Bailey, how you doing today? Nice weather. Other days she just kind of walk past me like I'm a ghost. Some days she's, and other days, and I don't got time for whatever issues are going on with her. I'm just trying to do my thing, you know? But, yeah. So, on Friday, I finished my book. He said, I finish a book every week, more or less. But this week's going to be different. This week, I'm going to focus on listening to a CD. Actually, I'm going to go to the mall today. I'm going to go to a store and I'm going to buy a CD. And that's going to be in my car. I'm just going to listen to a CD. How to put together songs and all that. I haven't tried that before. Get the levels right. How bass should knock and all that. I don't know what I'm going to get. Still thinking about that. But last week I was reading this book. It was called The Unsettled Soul. Unsettled Soul? Settling Soul? The Soul That Settles? I don't know. One of those books, spacey, space agey. It was recommended from a friend of mine. And I was like, why not? Because they're reading it, and now that I read it, we could talk about it. That's all I want, to read books that other people read. No, I ain't reading, what's his face, Harry? Tell all about his life as a, I'm not reading that. But apparently a lot of people did. I don't read that shit. I think Mrs. Obama has a book out. I ain't reading her book. I think Kevin Hart got a book out, 50 Cent. I ain't reading those books. I'm reading the books I want to read. And I want other people who have read them or want to. I don't want to force nobody. But, so the book is about how, there's a lot of themes, but one premise is energy. We're just energy. And it flows through us. You know. And when you have a problem, it's because you don't let the energy flow through you. You hold on to it, either because it's a good thing and you're clinging to it. And clinging is not. If you're clinging for your life, according to this book, you shouldn't cling to anything. So you should just die. But anyway, if you're clinging to something, you just gotta let it go. Or if something is hurting you, you may be resisting it. Now, this was interesting because it gave this analogy that just, a metaphor analogy. And it really made sense to me. And it just like resonates. So, something like this. Imagine there's a thorn, like a kiss by a thorn, right? Thorn's in your butt. And every time you sit, it hurts. So you just don't sit anymore. And that would work, you know. You're just like, I don't want to pull the thorn out. It's going to hurt. So you just don't sit down. And, you know, you got to wear pants. So you decide, okay, I'll wear a bubble. So you wear this bubble around your butt so your thorn doesn't get touched. And so now you're going about your business, and maybe some talk shows like, hey, you want to come on there? And then you go on a talk show with your bubble around your butt to protect the thorn. And they're like all excited, like, wow, look at you. You have figured out how to live a life without taking the thorn out. Can we buy the bubble? And now you're on, what's this show? You know the show where you have an idea and Shark Tank? Yeah. So you're on this show and they're just like, we'll give you $8 million for 37% share or some shit. And you're like, okay, so now you're a millionaire and you never took the thorn out. And now people are like, you got a Facebook page with millions of fans and everything. You're doing talk shows. And then you say to somebody, you say to like a sage, some wise person, you're like, look at me. I have figured out how to live my life without worrying about the thorn. And he has his Yoda face on. He's just like, thorn, think of not you say, but say you think of thorn every day. He doesn't say it like that. But what he's saying is, you have made a whole life around not taking the thorn out of your butt. Therefore, the thorn is your life. Now, you know, Yoda and all those people talk like that, but in this, I mean, I kind of made my own remix to the little parable he made. But basically, you know, even if you're avoiding something, you're still thinking about it. And I thought about, because I'm an avoider, as I said, I didn't talk to the lady, I just avoid her. And everything else in my life, I just avoid it. But it still has energy. You just gotta let it go. Let it flow out. It's kind of like, maybe this is grotesque, but it is what it is. It's like if you had to go poop. If you don't let it out, it's going to come out. And it's not going to be good. You just got to let it out. And then I just started thinking about all the things where if you tense up, it's going to hurt. You just got to relax. And it just like, so that was one of the things the book kind of just, and it just set me off for the whole week. I just got to let shit go. I mean, a lot of things roll off me. I don't care about stuff, but the things that don't, they stick with me, you know? And it's to my detriment. Another thing they talked about towards the end was death. Death being our teacher. And I was just rolling my eyes. Okay, death is a teacher. But again, he was saying, you know, if we didn't have death, if life was infinite, then we wouldn't appreciate things. We just be like, well, I'll do it tomorrow because there'll be a tomorrow. But and it's not an if, because we don't know if we'll be here tomorrow. Like, this could be the last video I make. You know, you could breathe in and never breathe back out. I know it's a scary thought, and that's why we kind of avoid it, don't think about it, but that's the reality. And we shouldn't run from that, because this makes whatever we're doing even more precious, more infinite, or more finite, more rare, more special. Like diamonds, although diamonds are not that rare, but nevertheless, if diamonds were everywhere, it really wouldn't care. You'd be like throwing them about. But since they're so whatever, and so, you know, I was just thinking, and again, I try to live my life that way. You know, I don't lament not being back in Japan, because it was an experience I had, and you know, it is what it is. And I remember there was times when I was in Japan and I was like feeling stressed, and I would look out the window and there's Mount Fuji, and I'm like, I'm in Japan, man. I'm in Japan, man. Still don't give a damn, stand up. But yeah. But other times things did get to me, and I'd be all stressed about it. And a lot of time it was just wasted. Like, you might have heard me. I know you have heard me talk about how people don't understand what I'm saying, and people but it doesn't matter. I mean, it matters in the sense that it matters, but it matters because I made it matter. Does that make sense? People don't need to understand me. They just, I need to understand me or be okay with me. And again, so that was one of the points. What else they talk about? The energy. They went big, but I think this concept might scare people, knock them off their rocker. But right now, or before I get into that one, the thing about death, he said, everything somebody has died doing. So there's somewhere, sometime, somewhere, and whatever, somebody was making a video like this and they got hit by a car, or somebody was driving a car and their heart stopped, or someone was making love and they died. Like, all these things has happened to somebody somewhere. And at any point, this tree could just fall over. I could get stung by like a radioactive bee, but I don't get powers. I just die a painful death. Like, and I know this is a morbid thought, but then again, it just kind of bounces back to, so we should love and cherish every moment that we are here. So then he also expanded on that, like, I'm standing here walking in Wilson in Pennsylvania, in America, on on this side of the globe, on this earth, spinning around our galaxy, around the sun, within this like I'm not insignificant. I mean, he says it this way, but like an ant just doing his thing. The ants. So when I had my therapy session, because remember I was like, I'm gonna challenge her. I always go in there thinking that, but I don't know. She's really good at. Some people, they just want to be challenged, or they want to challenge you. That's their thing. Like, she's not trying to challenge me. Anyway, she said a long time ago she's going to get me apple juice. Now, she didn't say she's going to get it next week or in 2 weeks. She just said, one day, I'm going to get you apple juice. Because one time I joked I would like to drink apple juice. And she's like, I don't have any. So I bought the apple juice. I bought one for her and one for me. And I walked in, I gave her the apple juice. She's like, oh, no, that's for you. I said, no, I got one too. And then I just told her about the book. And as I was talking, I kind of connected it back to what she was saying. Just therapy, not space-age therapy, but just, you gotta let things go. You just don't focus on it. And I'm always, how can you not focus on it? Which is easier said than done, The thorn in your butt, it might hurt to pull it out. It might bleed, it might whatever. So maybe you just don't want to do it. But once you pull it out, it's done. You no longer will be thinking about that thorn. So that could be a relationship. If you don't mend it or whatever, it's just going to be, you're going to be spending a lot of time avoiding and figuring out creative ways to whatever. Yeah. So that brings me to my dental work. So I've been working and saving. I haven't bought anything big. I was saving up for a computer. Now I have enough to get a computer. Hooray, hurrah. But then I'm like, well, I also have enough to start my dental. I just do half of it, or what I can. Kind of like the thorn. I don't want to, but it's, right now I don't got no issues. But, if I fix it now, I definitely, again, my dad always says this, because it is what it is. So my mom, last year, she bought a new a washing machine and dryer, and she got a new stove. And then she died, passed away, and my dad's like, what was the point of her buying it? She's not even here to use it. Which is true. But my mom enjoyed it, because when I came home, she's like, look, I got my little washing machine, and did it. She was happy. And that's what I use to wash the clothes in the house. Otherwise, I'd have to go to the laundromat. But so it's like, yeah, I could do all that, and then next thing I know, get in a car accident and all my teeth get busted out anyway. But it's not the way I'm going to look at it. But I don't want to. It's like, if I buy a computer for X amount, there it is, boom, it's there on my desk. If I'm putting like X amount of dental work into my mouth, who's gonna see it? I'm trying to. But I do think I'll feel much better, and I think I'll be cheesing like, what's his face? The dude who's with Bruno Mars, and they sing Silk Chocolate. What's his name? But he's always smiling like that, all toothy looking, like a Chester cat. So I might be doing that more often. I'm happy about that. And then I can get my braces, and then in my raps will be like, yeah, when I'll be rapping, I'll be so amazing. You can't brace it, but when I'm bracing, look at my new braces. Oh, I'm gonna throw it in there. So a whole branch of life will come from shit. I might be cheesing about, and someone's like, oh my gosh, you got a nice smile. You wanna be a model? We'll give you X amount. And then I could buy the computer with that money. Versus I get the computer, but it's like, yeah, you don't smile, so we're not gonna work with you. Life's like that, I mean, when I was in Japan and I just got my iPad and I was walking about making my video, and this random lady's like, what's that? I'm like, it's a iPad. It's like, what is it? It's like a big iPhone. It's like, oh my gosh, I never seen it. What are you doing? I am streaming. Twitter stream, you remember that? It wasn't Twitter. It was made by Twitter, but it had some other name. And then she's like, oh, you're so cool. You want to be a model? I'm like, sure. And ended up going to her studio. And her idea of modeling was putting people in really short shorts and having them jump off a block. I know I talked about it, but so kind of like the height of this thing right here, and then you jump up in the air and you make some weird face. I felt a little uncomfortable wearing little booty shorts and having my photo taken. So that's why you never heard much about that. But again, it all flowed from events. I'm running. All right. So yeah. So I'm trying to relate all that to this book I just read. And when I was in the therapy thing, I was just talking about the book, and it was kind of cool. All right, and it's not that cold out, so we're gonna do our full little rotation. That's usually where I'd be sitting down there, but we're gonna go on the back road. But so last night I went on a date, and last week, it doesn't matter. Last night I went on a date, and they live in Philly, I'm in Easton, and we decided to meet halfway. So they drove 40 minutes, I drove 50 minutes to the spot. And it was crazy because, we met online, whatever. And we were talking for like 4 days, and they're like, so do you want to have dinner yesterday? You want to have dinner? And I was just like, wow, that's really quick. Because for the past year, I've been getting like berated by all these women. They're like, how come you didn't do this? We've been talking for this. I'm like, I don't know. Like, for the date I went on last night, we didn't even talk on the phone. We just text. And after 4 days, she's like, do you want to go out for dinner? And I'm like, okay, sure. Why not? Although I had a dream the other day, like 4 days ago. I was in my hometown walking, and someone was like, hey, you want to get in my van? And I'm like, sure, why not? Could be a story in there. I opened up the door, and when I looked inside, everything was all like covered up, and she had like a menacing face on her. So I'm like, I'm good. So then I stepped back, closed the door, and then she like drove right into the building, the house across the street. So then I start walking like, wow, glad I didn't get into that van. And then she pulls back, and then she comes this way. Now she's pointing at where I'm standing, and then she starts driving towards me, and I jump out of the dream. Like, bah! And I'm like, whoa, I guess I shouldn't be getting in any vans anytime soon. So I kind of thought maybe that was a foreshadowing that maybe I shouldn't go on the dinner date. But I don't let dreams tell me what I should do or don't do. So anyway, I punch in the coordinates on my navigation, and I'm on my way. Now, this place was like off the grid, so it wasn't on any highways. It was in between where we both live, so it's not on. And this stupid navigation is like, all right, turn left, turn right, turn left. And now I'm on these back roads. It's like, all right, turn here. And it was like 8 o'clock, so it was all dark and shit. No lights. Like, at one point, I turned my car lights off, and it's pitch black. And I'm driving, and there's no cars behind me, which I'm good for because I was driving really slow, and the speed limit was like 50 miles. But these roads are all winding and shit. So I'm driving, and I'm just like, I hope, because I don't want to stop to check. I know I punched in the right location, but I'm driving and just getting deeper and deeper into this woody area. And I'm like, what if my car stops? I gotta knock on these doors, or what if? All these what if scenarios, which again, according to the book, those are just energies. Let them flow by. So I just focus on, keep my eye on the road. I got to one part where they had all these speed bumps, but coming back home, I saw the sign saying speed bumps, but going forward, I was just so focused. I don't want to get late. I don't want to be late. I don't want to get lost. So next time, like, whoa, if I was driving fast, I'd have been like flying. So then the phone starts ringing, or my Apple Watch is ringing, and then the navigation is all connected. And I see it's her calling me, but I can't stop because I'm driving and I'm on a back street, and any car could come up and hit me in the butt. So I wait till I get to like a nice intersection, and I just park, or I just stop there, and then I call her back, and she's like, where are you? And I was like, I'm either 5 minutes away or I'm lost, but I need to get back on the navigation. So, I'll call you back. It's like, okay. So then I come out, up, and in 5 minutes, I'm in the area, but I missed my turn, so I had to go around the block. And then I wasn't even concerned about parking. I just parked in the first spot so I could just get out the car and kind of shake my legs. But, yeah. And then where I parked, I was 5 minutes from where she was standing, so I walked over to where she was, and then we had dinner. And it was just nice. It was awkward because, we just meeting for the first time, whatever. So it's like, but it progressed. Nice. And this morning I was thinking, that's how it should be. Because in the past, I've been going on these dates to be like, how comes you didn't say hello? How comes you didn't do this? You should. And it's just like, how do I know? How do I know? Because everyone's different, Like, I have no problem meeting someone just off the strength of it's going to make a nice story. I'm not worried about safety. I'm not. If she's like, meet me in the middle woods, here are the coordinates, we'll have a picnic at 9 o'clock, I'll bring the flashlights. It's a story I don't want to have. But, and I also know that women are more likely to be endangered, so I'm not out there like, hey, let's meet up. So I'm trying to, but yeah. So if you follow me on my Instagram, I made a whole song about the experience, and that's what I mean. It's if I would have sat home like, nope, I'm not going. If I'm sitting home, I would have made I got to make a song every day, but it wouldn't have been it would have been a different song, But yeah, man, other than that, that's that. So now the plan is to go home and go to the mall, get that CD. I don't even know what CD I want. Do I go old school or do I get what the kids are listening to now? Do I get something? I don't even know. I'll figure it out. And is there anything else? Some person who listens to my music, they're just like, yeah, your vocals are getting more clean, like you're mixing. I'm like, thank you. Because if you do something every day, you get good at it. Well, in theory, if you do something every day, something will happen. We could say that. So if you eat donuts every day, something will happen. You may get good at eating donuts. You figure out how you can. Speaking of, I think I might get donuts today. I'm supposed to do that yesterday. But yeah. But that's about it. Where are we at? 31 minutes? We might have ended here. I that's about it. But yeah, I want to reiterate that, life is precious. We're here today, we're gone tomorrow. We don't know when things will happen. Nobody knows really, unless someone tells you, like, hey, you got 24 hours to live. But you shouldn't take it for granted. And easier said than done, But I feel it's a better way to go about stuff, Because like my students, kids, babies and all that, they're just worried about the now. Now, they still got issues because they're so focused on the now, they can't see the if I could, I would give them the marshmallow test, where you put the marshmallow in front of them, and if they don't eat it, they'll get a reward that will show them how that they could. I don't think they have that kind of self-resistance. I don't have that kind of self-resistance. Like, I buy chocolate, right? I might buy 2 because it's on sale. So I eat the one chocolate and I leave the other one for tomorrow. But then I'm just like, next thing you know, I ate the second chocolate. So I know me, man. Shit. That's why I can't be doing things chocolate is mildly addictive, but it ain't like chemically inducing addictive. There'd be no, I do not know how I get off of that hard shit. So I just avoid it. But, yeah. Actually, this book is like the antithesis of the other books. So there's a book, Machiavelli, or the book he read. There's the power books and all those where they're manipulating you're creating the world you want to live in by sheer force, brute force. I think that's a term used for like if you're trying to break something. But you just like if you go up to random people and be like, "Oh, you look so pretty. Wow, you look really nice." Most people, even though they might feel, in my opinion, even though they might feel that you're lying to them, they might smile and say thanks. And they might think, wow, you're a nice person. And they might throw a compliment at you, which is genuine. So you hit somebody with a fake compliment, and they most likely, if they're not hip to the game, will throw you a real compliment. And you could do your whole life that way. But it's very calculating, manipulative, which I don't want to do. And then the opposite, you just go about your life just letting things flow. Like I went to the bookstore. I went to the bookstore the other day to do an open mic. And I went to the bookstore because there was a model that I found a while ago. They tried to overcharge me. They're like, yeah, you pay me $500, I'll let you, I'll model for you. I'm like, I'm not. But so I started posting on my my photography page recently, and a lot of people have been liking it, and she was one of them. So I DM'd her like, hey, I see you're a poet. I sometimes go to that bookstore. Why don't we meet and talk, and we could talk about some future shoots? She's like, that would be cool. So I get there, and I'm sitting there, and they had a sign-up sheet. I was the first to sign up. Bop! I signed up. And then everyone starts to come in, and then she was a featured person, but she wasn't there. So the host is like, well, I don't know where she is. And then other people went up. Then she kind of strolls in like, all right, cool. She brought her kids and her husband. I don't know. I don't care. Bring the whole family. And then she went up, and then the host was like, all right, let's get the sign-up sheet. I would have been first. But then the sign-up sheet disappeared. She's like, where's the sign-up sheet? Like, I don't know. So they had a new sign-up sheet, and I wasn't that close to it. So I signed up like 5th. So after the second and a half, halfway through someone else's thing, she just stood up and walked away, which is kind of rude, but she did have little kids, and it was kind of nighttime and all. So I didn't get to speak to her. So then they called my name, Matt. I don't know. I don't got a poet name. So I stand up there and I do my little thing. I was like, I came here to meet her, and I point to her empty seat, but she's not here. And I wrote my name on this paper, but it disappeared. And then I went into my my thing, and I used the poem Black, where I used black and I wrote the words to that. So beautiful, long, angel correcting kinetically. It gets really weird with the K's and the C's. And it was super quiet. I commanded attention. Nervous as hell. My heart was pounding because this group is a different kind of group. Like everyone else was going up there like, hello, this poem's about my trauma. And then she'd go and she starts crying, and the people in the audience are crying. My mother didn't love me. This is a poem about that. Go on, girl, speak your... My shit is overly happy, or you know how my shit goes. And it was the same thing when I was doing that, like all black, all the people were black, or maybe there's like 3 white people, and they'd be like, fuck the, and they're all militant and shit. And again, I come up with my, but it is what it is, and I stand out because you can get lost in what, everyone sounds the same, and then I, who comes up doing what I do, but I was trying to hold what the book was telling me to let things flow, but I was just kind of blocked up. Like, their poems were depressing, but I guess music or poetry is a means to get out your negative feelings. I kind of have my negative feelings and then transmute them into little gold nuggets of wisdom or something. But everyone's different. But I don't know if I would hang out with. But anyway, all right. Here's my last thing I want to talk about. So I went on a date yesterday, and like 3 weeks, when I went to the movies to see Ant-Man, I bought an electric shaver for $130. Now, I didn't want to pay $130 for an electric shaver because before that I was just buying the little $5 razors with the blades, the shaving cream. And I would shave. But in Japan, I just shave and leave the mess. And then when the mess got annoying to me, I clean it up. But since I'm here with my dad, I don't want to be leaving messes. So I was going to the barber shop paying like $47 for the barber guy to shave my head. And this barbershop's cool, conversation, we be talking and whatever. It's not all loud and annoying. Nice vibes, whatever. But it's $47, so I'd get it like once every 2 months, once a month. So do the math, we're gonna round it up to 50. In 3 months, I paid $150 for a haircut, and it's just a shave, basically. That's gonna last about like a week and a half, and then it's just like whatever. So I bought the shaver, but I didn't use it. So then for the date, I'm like, let me bust it out. So I charge it up, open the box, see what I got, and had the 2 attachments, whatever. So I shave off what hair was there. Then I used the little shaver thing to done. Like, and I'm like, why the hell didn't I do this before? Because and then my thing's waterproof. It's 100 and whatever. It's pretty expensive, fancy. It got a little self-charger cleaning thingy. But this way I could look fresh every day. And basically, like in 1 month, it would have paid for itself. And I'm just like, late to the game. Because I was thinking that people like go to the barbershop to keep their head looking all. And I remember reading somewhere, hearing that Kanye West was paying someone like crazy amounts of money to keep his hair like that. But yeah. And then I was trying to shape up my sideburns, but I'm not that nice with that, so I just shaved them all off. I can maintain the what is it, soul patch? I don't think this is a soul patch. The goatee. I can't get the line up, so it's gonna be gone. But yeah, man, that's the life of rhyming, and I hope you guys are great. And yeah, peace.